Hello there. Today I'd like to talk to you about the Fitness for Human Habitation Act in the UK. Privately rented properties in the UK have certain standards of living that they need to adhere to by law so that the property is safe, comfortable and suitable to be lived in. Although the landlord is responsible for ensuring their property is fit for human habitation, the tenant should be aware of their rights and responsibilities as well. With the Housing Health and Safety Rating System for England and Wales, also known as HHSRS, it's based on the hazards described in the Housing Health and Safety Regulations, a bit of a mouthful, and is used by local authorities to determine if a property is suitable to be lived in. As a landlord, it's your responsibility to ensure none of these hazards exist in your property as a tenant. It's up to you as a tenant to report any of these hazards and avoid causing any yourself. In total, there are 29 hazards, and some of these include damp and mould growth, excess cold, excess heat, asbestos and manufactured mineral fibres, carbon monoxide, lead, crowding and space, that's obviously if a property is too cramped, lighting, noise, water supply and electrical hazards. If a tenant spots anything that may suggest one of these hazards, they should report it to the landlord or letting agent first to give them a chance to make the necessary repairs. If the landlord refuses, the tenant can report the hazards to their local authority, who will inspect the property and decide whether improvements need to be made. So the Homes for Fitness for Human Habitation Act 2018, that affects tenancies that start or renewed after the 20th of March 29 and for all tenancies from the 20th of March 2020. The property must follow the guidance outlined by the Homes Fitness for Human Habitation Act 2018. This new law states that rented properties must be fit for human habitation at the beginning and throughout the tenancy. This mostly covers the hazards outlined by the HHSRS, but importantly it states that tenants can take their landlord to court without the need to go to the local authority first if any issues are unresolved. And just a few tips for you landlords there, that you should ensure your properties are fit for human habitation before a tenant moves in, and to avoid issues I would actually recommend the following. Ensure none of the hazards outlined in the guide that we have and some of which I've mentioned already exist within your property. If your tenant reports a hazard, ensure you reply quickly with your next steps. If you feel that the hazard is legitimate and requires repair, always ensure you give the tenant 24 hours notice if you or a contractor is visiting the property to make their repair. You must also get the tenant's permission to enter the property at the time you suggest. Make sure you arrange any visits during reasonable hours, that's not too early, not too late. If the tenant refuses access to the property, seek legal advice and keep all correspondence you have had with the tenant. If the tenant attempts to block the repair, you may avoid court. Do not serve a Section 21 notice to the tenant if the local council gives you an improvement notice or emergency remedial action notice. This is actually illegal because it goes under the sort of retaliatory eviction notice. I hope that's been of help. Thanks for joining me and look forward to speaking to you soon.